When Emma first introduced me to her new boss, I didn't think much of it. It was during her company's quarterly dinner, one of those elegant gatherings where everyone pretends to enjoy themselves while secretly scrolling through their phones beneath the table. Emma had been putting in a lot of late nights lately, but I trusted her. I always had. She looked stunning that evening. Her hair perfectly curled, her familiar perfume drifting around us like a quiet memory. I remember thinking, maybe things are finally turning around for us. Then he showed up, tall, self-assured, wearing that smug sort of grin men have when they think they're untouchable. "Dan, you're right," he said, extending a hand. "Heard a lot about you." His voice carried this polished arrogance that made me instantly dislike him. Still, I shook his hand, pretending not to notice how his eyes lingered on Emma a beat too long. Throughout dinner, I caught subtle glances passing between them. Nothing overtly inappropriate, but enough to sting. I told myself I was overthinking it, that it was just insecurity creeping in. She laughed at his jokes, touched his arm lightly when she spoke, a gesture she hadn't made toward me in months. After dinner, we stood near the bar. Emma stepped away to take a call, and that's when he smirked. "So," he said, swirling his drink, "you're the ex, huh?" For a second, I thought I'd misheard him. "Ex," I repeated, my voice sharper than I intended. He chuckled, leaning in slightly. "Didn't mean to ruin the surprise, man. Guess she didn't tell you." His words cut through me like glass. I turned toward Emma just as she came back. Her expression said everything. She froze, lips parting without sound, color draining from her face. I didn't need an explanation anymore. I set my drink down, gave him a polite smile, then looked at her. "Starting now?" I asked quietly. She didn't answer. I walked out, leaving her trembling in front of her boss. The drive home felt like moving through fog. Every red light, every passing car, a blur. My hands gripped the steering wheel, not out of anger but disbelief. I wasn't ready for it to end. Not like that. For years, I'd been patient. Through her late nights, business trips, and growing distance, I kept convincing myself that love just changes over time, that marriage goes through phases. Turns out it wasn't love evolving. It was love dying one lie at a time. When I got home, I packed lightly. A few shirts, my passport, the watch my father gave me. I didn't want to take anything that reminded me of her. Halfway through, my phone started buzzing again and again, Emma calling. I ignored it. Then came the messages. "Daniel, please. It's not what it looked like. Can we talk? I need to explain." And finally, "Please come back." I messed up. I didn't reply. I just turned the phone face down and sat on the edge of the bed we once shared. My chest felt hollow, like every emotion had been scraped out and tossed away. By morning, she showed up. The knock was soft, hesitant. When I opened the door, she stood there, makeup smudged, eyes red. "Daniel," she whispered, "please just listen. He was my ex, before you. He got promoted last month. I didn't know how to tell you." I stared at her, trying to figure out what hurt more, the betrayal or the cowardice. "You didn't know how to tell me?" I said slowly. "You had months, Emma. You just didn't want to." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she stepped closer. "It wasn't like that. I swear I wasn't sleeping with him." I cut her off. "Maybe not, but you let him live in your silence. You kept him alive in every lie you told me, and that's worse." She sobbed harder, trying to reach for my hand, but I stepped back. For once, I didn't feel angry. I just felt clear. "Emma," I said quietly, "I spent years defending you to everyone who thought you'd already checked out. Turns out they were right." Her lips trembled. "Please don't end this like that." I picked up my bag, walked past her, and said it already ended the moment he recognized me. 2 weeks later, I was in a small downtown apartment, the kind with paper-thin walls and a view of nothing but streetlights. Oddly enough, the silence felt good, peaceful. I started sleeping better, eating better, thinking clearly for the first time in years. Betrayal does that. It burns everything down so completely that when you finally step out of the ashes, just breathing feels like a miracle. Emma kept reaching out, Long messages every few days, apologizing, begging for another chance. I'd read them, sometimes even type a reply, but never send it. What was there to say? That I forgave her? That I was willing to pretend everything was fine? No. Some things, once broken, aren't meant to be fixed. One evening, I stopped by a small cafe near my place for dinner. While waiting for my order, I heard a familiar voice behind me. Daniel. It was him, her boss, or rather, her ex. He looked surprised but not ashamed. "Hey, man, didn't expect to see you here." I turned slowly, met his eyes, and for a moment wondered if he even remembered that night. But the smirk tugging at his mouth told me he did. He tried to keep it casual. "Listen, about that night, Emma said you two were already having problems long before I came along." I gave a short laugh. "Yeah, convenient, huh?" He shrugged. "She's complicated. I thought she'd told you we dated before." "Guess not." I didn't answer. I just stared at him until his smile started to falter. Then I said quietly, "You know, I should thank you." He blinked. "For what?" "For showing me the truth before it was too late." I stepped closer, not out of anger, but something lighter. Freedom. "You can have whatever version of her you want," I said. "But you'll never have her honesty. That part doesn't exist anymore." He looked away first. I left with my food, feeling lighter than I had in years. Later that night, I sat by the window, watching the rain trace patterns down the glass. For the first time, I didn't feel bitter or broken, just at peace. Sometimes walking away isn't surrender. It's reclaiming your sanity. I opened my phone, reread her last message. "I miss you. Please come home." I typed a reply. "You already had me once, Emma. You don't get to break me twice." Then I hit delete instead of send. Some words don't need to be spoken. Some stories are better left in silence.